Now, there are other biologically active lipids aside from ones that are sterols or ones that are based off of cholesterol structure. These are present in smaller amounts than our storage and structural lipids, but they still play a vital role in things like signaling between cells. Many vitamins are thought of as lipid soluble because they are lipid based vitamins. And these are vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. They have structures that are generally not soluble in water. They're hydrocarbon structures, and so they are classified as a lipid. Another type of signaling lipid is the derivatives of arachidonic acid. These, again, are just a special type of lipid. They include things like prostaglandins, which are very involved in inflammation and fever. And actually, prostaglandins are the types of lipids that are targeted by drugs like aspirin and acetaminophen and all of your NSAIDs. There's also types of arachidonic acid derivatives called thromboxans, which help with formation of blood clots, and leukotrienes, which are very important in areas related to lung and muscle contraction in the lung. So leukotrienes are associated sometimes with inflammation that's occurring in our lung cells. So you can see these have a very long branching structure. They look similar to fatty acids. They have a carboxyl end and then this large hydrocarbon end, but you can see their structure is a little bit different, and they tend to have this curved structure based on the arachidonic acid that then forms into a ring. So right at this position. So they're based on a fatty acid structure that has then semi-cyclized in most cases. Another type of lipid derivative that's used as a signaling molecule is vitamin A or retinol. This is, of course, utilized heavily in areas like our eyes, but it's also a precursor for other signaling molecules that help regulate different expressions. So, for example, retinol itself, the vitamin, combines with the protein known as opsin, and this forms rhodopsin. This isn't shown on the picture, but rhodopsin is a visual pigment that is widespread through nature. So an actual pigment that's utilized for making color, but also it is involved in the retinols of our eyes and neuronal signaling for our vision. Here's some other examples of different vitamins. These are lipid-soluble vitamins or other types of quinones. These are also molecules that are involved in signaling and involved biologically in our metabolism. Certain ones are antioxidants. For example, coenzyme Q gets used heavily in the mitochondria. You can see vitamin E is known mostly as an antioxidant, and vitamin K has involvement in things like blood clotting, excuse me. Here's kind of a close-up of those two particular vitamins. Again, these are lipid-soluble vitamins, one being an antioxidant and one being involved in blood clotting. Now, interestingly, what we've shown here is a drug called warfarin. Warfarin is very famously known as a anticoagulant. It is taken as a blood thinner, usually for patients who tend to suffer from stroke. So it's to help keep their blood thin of lipids to avoid potential buildup of lipids and stroke in the brain. So you can see that warfarin actually acts by mimicking the head group that you see on our vitamin K. So instead of vitamin K binding to particular enzymes, warfarin, which has, again, mimicked the structure of the head group of vitamin K, will bind instead. One other reference of another type of lipid that are biologically active are called polyketides. Polyketides are very diverse. There's not really a unifying structure to them. They are synthesized similar to our fatty acids biologically, and they tend to be have specialized function. So some examples of different polyketides, these are lipids that are synthesized in plants that are utilized in human medicines, actually, are these erythromycin, which is an antibiotic. Again, this is a lipid-derived antibiotic. Amifericin B, which is an antifungal, and lovastatin, a statin drug that is utilized for patients with problems with cholesterol and heart disease.